Hi everyone, this is your math guru. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve the following Combiku puzzle. Please don't forget to click on the like and subscribe button below for solutions to more math puzzle. For the Combiku puzzle, each horizontal row and vertical column should contain 5 different shapes and 5 different numbers. You can only use the shapes listed below and numbers 1 to 5. Every cell will contain one number and one shape, and no combination may be repeated anywhere else in the puzzle. So, for instance, if you have a cell that contains a 3 and a circle together, then no other cell will contain a 3 and a circle. When solving a Combiku puzzle, it's easier to first of all start by filling up the numbers. In this puzzle, we have the numbers 1 to 5, and note that each number will be filled in horizontally or vertically such that we don't have repeated numbers. So, starting with the second column, always start with the column that is almost filled up. I have the numbers 5, 4, 3, and 2. The missing number is the number 1. So I'm going to fill up that with the number 1. If I go to this third column, I'm going to highlight that. The missing numbers are 2 and 4. However, I can't place another 4 in this empty box because I already have a 4 in the same row. So the only place to place my 4 will be the next missing box. And then if you look at that column, I've already placed numbers 5, 4, 3, and 1. The last number to fill up that column will be my number 2. Then if I go ahead, note that I'm picking my rows or column at random. If I look at the third row, I have the numbers 5, 4, and 2. The missing numbers are 1 and 3. But I can't place a 3 in this box because I already have a 3 in that column. So the alternative is to place my 3 in the next mixing box. And if I look at that row, the last number to make up the numbers 1 to 5 is my number 1. So I'm going to place my 1 as shown. And then if I look at the second row, I'm going to highlight that. The missing numbers 1 and 2. I cannot place my number 1 in this box because I already have a 1 in that column. So I'm going to place my 1 as shown, and to make up that row, the last number is my number 2. So I'm going to place my number 2 as shown. Then going to the fourth column, I have the numbers 1, 2, 3. Like I said earlier, each horizontal row and vertical column should contain 5 different numbers. The missing numbers in that column are my numbers 4 and 5, but I already have a 4 in the last row, such that I can only place my 4 here, and to complete the set, my number 5 will be in the last box. Then if I go ahead, for the last row, I've already put in my number 5, 4 and 3 are existing. So the last numbers or set of numbers are 1 and 2. I can't place a 1 in this box because I already have a 1 in that column. So I'm going to place my 1 in this box, and then the last number to complete that row is my number 2. So I'm going to write my 2 as shown. And then if I look at this row, that's the third or the fourth row, the missing numbers are 5 and 3. I already have a 3 in this column, so I cannot place a 3 in that box. I'm going to place my 3 in my hexagon, and then to complete that row, the last number is my number 5. In the first column, the missing number, I have numbers 5, 4, 3, and 1. The missing number is my number 2. And then to complete the first row, the missing number is my number 5. So note that I've been able to fill in all my numbers. The next step is to fill in all the shapes. And note that we have every cell will contain one number and one shape, and no combination may be repeated. So what I'm going to do is to list out the combinations I have already. For my triangle, I already have a 4 in my triangle, so I'm going to list that here. I'm left with filling up 1, 2, 3, and 5. Then I have for 4 again, I have that in a square, so I'm going to list that as shown. Then I have a 3 in a hexagon, so I have my 3 as shown, and the last number with the shape is my number 2 in a diamond, so I'm going to put my 2 as shown. So what I'm going to do is to look for a row or a column that already has a couple of shapes. So going to my 4th row, on that row I have my hexagon and a 4 in a square. I'm left with the numbers 1, 2, and 3. Note that in my first column I already have a 2 in a diamond, so I cannot put a diamond in on 5 because a diamond is already existing in that column. So I'm left with 2 and 1, and the instruction says no combination may be repeated. So likewise, I cannot put a diamond on my 2. So the last option is to put my diamond on 1. And because I've been able to put my diamond on 1, I'm going to note that. So I have a diamond sitting on 1 and 2. Still using the same rule, the two shapes left are the triangle and the circle. I cannot put a triangle in this column because I already have a 4 sitting in a triangle. So the last alternative will be to place my triangle on 5 as shown. And then for that row, the last shape is my circle, so I'm going to place my circle on 2. So always remember to note the combinations you have already. I have a circle sitting on a 2, and I have a triangle sitting on a 5. Looking at the last row, if I try to fit in a diamond, note that I cannot have one sitting on this column, so I cannot place my diamond on 1. I'm left with 3, 5, and 2. But note that I already have a diamond sitting on a 2 as shown, so I cannot place 1 on 2. Also, in this column, I already have a diamond sitting on 1, so the last space to slot in my diamond will be on 5. Also, looking at that last row again, if I'm to place my hexagon, note that I cannot place an hexagon on 2 because I already have one hexagon sitting in that column. Likewise, I cannot place it on 3 because I already have my hexagon sitting on a 3. So I'm going to place my hexagon on 1 as shown, and it makes it easier to mark what I've done so far on my left hand side to say I've placed a hexagon on 1 and I've placed a diamond on 5. Now if you look at the first column, I have the hexagon, the triangle, and the diamond. I'm left with my circle and square, but because I already have a square sitting on a 4, I cannot place my square on 4. So I'm going to place my square on 3. And because I must have different shapes in each row or column, then the last box there, that's my 4, will be a circle. So that completes that column. So I'm going to state what I've done on the left hand side. I have a circle sitting on a 4, and I have a square sitting on a 3. So because I have a square sitting on a 3 in my last row, I have the shapes a square and a circle missing. I cannot place my square on a 3 because I already have that existing. So I'm going to place my square on the 2. And the missing shape for that row is my circle. So I'm going to place my circle on 3. And also I'm going to note that on my key guide on the left hand side, I have the circle sitting on 3, I have the square sitting on 2, 5 diamond. Now going to the third row, I'm going to try to fit in my circle. Note that I cannot fit in a circle on my 5 because I have a circle in that column. I cannot fit in my circle on 2 because I already have a circle sitting on 3 in that column. I'm left with 1 and 4. If I go to my code, I already have a circle sitting on 4. So I cannot fit another circle on 4. So the last option is to fit in on my 1 as shown. So I'm going to write the code to say I have a circle sitting on 1. So for my circle, for example, I have only one combination left, which is a circle sitting on a 5. If I look at this column, I have a diamond, I have a square, I have a circle. I'm left with hexagon and a triangle. But if I look at the code on my left, I already have the hexagon sitting on a 3, so I cannot have another combination of a hexagon and a 3. So I'm going to place my hexagon on 2, and if I look at that column, the last shape will be my triangle. So I'm going to fit my triangle on 3 as shown. If I look at the last column, I have the numbers 4, 1, and 5 with my circle, my triangle, and I have the diamond missing. If I'm to fit in my square, I can fit the square on a 4, I can fit on a 1 and a 5. If I look at my circle, I can only fit my circle on 5 because already I have my circle sitting on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to fit my circle on 5. And if you look at my code, I've been able to get the combination of a circle and all the numbers 1 to 5 completed. So I'm going to tick that. I don't have a circle to fit in anymore. Then Still on that column, I'm left with the triangle. If I'm to fit in the triangle, I have the option of fitting it on 4 and 1. But if I check the code, I already have the triangle sitting on 4. So I'm going to fit my triangle on 1 as shown. And then the last option will be to fit in my circle to complete. When I'm done fitting my circle, the last shape will be my diamond. So I'm going to fit in my diamond on 4. So I'm going to go to my code and fit that in. I have a diamond sitting on 4. I have a circle completed. I have my triangle sitting on 1. So I'm going to try my first row as shown. I'm going to fit in my hexagon. Hexagon is already existing with 1 as shown, so I'm going to move that on my 4. And if you look at that row, the missing shape is my square, so I'm going to fit that on 1. So going back to my codes, I've been able to fit a square on a 1, hexagon on 4. So the last option is to fit in my hexagon on 5 to complete that series. So looking at the second column, I have 3 and 5 to fit in my hexagon because I'm left with an hexagon or a hexagon sitting on 5. I'm going to move that on 5, and then the last number there is my 3. The missing shape will be my diamond that's sitting on 3. So if I go back to my code, I have a diamond sitting on 3. I've completed that set. I have on that same column, I have the hexagon sitting on 5. So I've been able to complete that set. Then I'm left with the last column. The missing shapes are, I have my triangle. The triangle is already sitting on 5 as shown. So I'm going to place that on 2. If I have my triangle sitting on 2, and then the last but not the least shape, that's my square sitting on 5. So writing the code, I have the triangle sitting on 2 already, and 3. I'm done with that, and then I have the square sitting on 5. So I've been able to fit in my numbers 1 to 5 and the 5 shapes sitting in each block such that no number or shape have the same combination. Thanks for watching. Bye.